Yes guys, so we have finally made it. We are finally back again for the second reaction video I did on this YouTube platform. The very first one is on Mr. Lick's reaction, guys. The link of that will be in the first comment in the comment box below, guys. And of course, welcome to this BrBpTV YouTube platform reaction vibrations, guys. Welcome to each and every one of you guys. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. And with that said, guys, let us get into the vibrations right there, guys. Give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate that right there. Of course, there was something rather interesting taking place in what I believe is the Pottersville Savannah region, brothers and sisters. And of course, Hector John pretty much brought this out to our attention. Pottersville? Is this Pottersville? Yeah, I think this is Pottersville. Is this Pottersville? This is... Where's Pottersville? This is Pottersville now. I'm trying to remember why is the other park name. Anyways, this Goodwill region.
Yes, this is the Pottersville playing field.
Pottersville, okay.
That concrete is being was poured on a playing field. The Pottersville playing field that was donated to the community of Pottersville by Mr. Potters. And I was just informed it is on his will that playing field belongs to the community, not the government or anybody.
So if it belongs to the community and not the government, anybody, why are Chinese doing things on this thing? I think probably they're still trying to make it a playing field. From my understanding, I think it's a basketball court, or they're trying to put a tennis court or something of that sort on this thing, which of course will make it stay the same thing as a playing field. But when the people are not informed, the problem that I have when it comes down to these kind of situations, guys, is that the people are not informed of any sort of things. They just see things happening, bow, and they just supposed to accept it. Oh, they're doing things, wow, bow. Brothers and sisters, on the basis that Dominicans can actually do these things themselves. I see they're doing one in Portsmouth, brothers and sisters. It's a tennis court, I believe it is. And Dominicans are the one doing it. So why are Chinese doing these things as if Dominicans can do it? Let Dominicans get the job to do these things, if that is the case. But then again, the problem I have is they're not informing anybody, just seeing things happening, bow, and just people supposed to stay quiet. That is crazy.
Not the school, not the power rep, and it was given. This property was given to the Chinese to dump concrete on it. This is the Pottersville Savannah.
Oh, I was thinking of Newton. This is Pottersville. Yes, let's continue. What is this?
This is the Pottersville Savannah. That's where you had.
But I'm guessing they do have a wide expanse of field, just like Portsmouth, to play multiple sports. So I'm guessing it's not too crazy in that aspect, is it? I mean, this looks like football, a good reasonable area that can play football. Is it big enough, guys? Is it big enough?
Secondary school had the sports day, cricket, football. OC, I play cricket there, OC, softball, cricket. I worked there, the BMC building, for 16 years. So that is the Pottersville Savannah. Concrete was dumped there by the Chinese yesterday, and they're building a structure there like living quarters on the playing field.
Really? Well, I see really? That cannot be a living quarters. Is there we have problems? They would have problems, but I think they say it's a basketball court or a tennis court that is going on there.
That was donated.
But it's kind of big though. Don't you think it's kind of big for a basketball court? Or maybe they're making it look like maybe it's two of them, maybe, I don't know.
To the community by Mr. Potters, and I was just told it's on his will that playing field was donated to the people of the Pottersville community.
But if it's a housing thing that you're trying to build there, which I doubt that's what they're doing, that should not happen at all. Because it's the man's will that this area stays what? A playing field. Now, if they're making a basketball court or they're making a tennis court or what have you, I think that is well within the playing field region. Like I said before, my problem here is not that. My problem here is you're just seeing things happening, bap, bap. Not telling nobody, just a little up and over there somewhere, brothers and sisters. They're doing the same thing to a historical site. This is one of the things Danny Luge was talking about. I talked about it yesterday, brothers and sisters. On the basis of war, they're not telling people nothing. You're just doing things and people are supposed to stay quiet.
And that is what's happening right there. And no one is saying a word about it. Nobody in the community. I live right south will come here and just ensure that I do a recording just for those of you, the doubters out there, will say that cannot happen. Well, it has happened. And it's talking close to about, I would say about 50 feet in, and then the width of the playing field.
Well, remember, that is what the people want here, brothers and sisters. This is what the people want. They're not questioning anything. They're just making people just do whatever they want. Jobs that the people themselves can actually do is being handled by foreign entities. This is one of the things I tell you about yesterday, you know, guys. Yesterday, the day before, I was talking about the very same thing, where we're talking about having things being done, and when it comes down to the growth factors of Dominica, the only thing that is being affected in Dominica is the construction industry, and it's been handled by who? Foreigners. Mainly foreigners. 95% of them is foreigners. 95. Brothers and sisters, you never ask yourself, where did Dominican trucks went? You guys never ask yourself that question. You seen it in Kenfield still now? You never ask yourself, where did Dominican strong trucks went? Did they tell the people anything about where they went? Did they inform the people and say, hey, maybe go to Trinidad? Hey, oh. None of that stuff. Okay. That's the problem I have, brothers and sisters. I have, two problems. One, the work is not being done by Dominicans. And two, they're just doing things by any way, shape or form, not telling anybody, and the people are supposed to stay quiet. This is the problem that I have. Dominicans are just sitting there as second-class citizens in their own country, watching Chinese destroy their country or doing things in the country, whether it's good or not. They're just watching the Chinese doing things in the country. And who's allowing that? Well, we all know who's allowing that. The leaders, of course. God help us, because some people are willing to go back into slavery. Anti-man devil is coming with the same lies he used in the Garden of Eden. And a lot of people are falling for it because of greed. Brothers and sisters, that is the main problem that we have. We are selling out our own people on the basis of greed. What we can get in exchange to sell out our people. The same thing that was happening back in Africa days, brothers and sisters. We complain about the white man needing to give us reparations and all this kind of something. They're not realizing that it was the very brothers and sisters who sold us. Well, not us, but they sold the other people, the black folks, into slavery to the white man. Fighting against ourselves, they turned against their own selves to receive cloths and stupidness, brass. They would exchange themselves, giving themselves, receiving gunpowder in exchange for gold. Boy. History is repeating itself, brothers and sisters. History is repeating itself, just in a different form. God help us, because apparently some individuals are willing to go back into slavery. Not by force, They are literally willing to go back, brothers and sisters. We may not be physically shackled, but we are still some mental slaves. Because of the sake of greed. Oh, human beings.
Hey, honestly, sorry to say it, but I don't think Dominicans can wake up again,
You don't think they can wake up again? I think they are wide awake. You know why I think they're wide awake? Because when I go there and I'm talking to some of the Dominicans, they know exactly what is happening, but they just don't care. They just don't care. They're looking for temporary gratification, or temporary satisfaction, gratification, brothers and sisters. Something that would last them for 5 days, 10 days, maybe a month. Not realizing the scope of which they can look at. Brothers and sisters, one of the things that I grew up understanding was time. Time is the greatest currency that we have. And if we constantly waste time, brothers and sisters, time is not something that you get back. It is gone. Now you see all the time that we're wasting telling people, hey guys, open your eyes. Look at what is happening. Wasting time on times that could actually have been better for the people. That could have been done, brothers and sisters, wasting 25 years on the very Prime Minister. Screwing up and making things worse because of their own agendas. Now they're trying to push certain things into society that is literally against nature. literally against biology, literally against morality. Any sort of principle that is guided, because of course, like I stated in the last reaction, there is a lack and a need of men. Men with moral and backbone to stand up and say, hey, no, it's no, brothers and sisters. But when these men are coming in from, they come from things and they feel defeated, you know what they decide to do? They decide they go in for the insignificant money value, brothers and sisters. I want to buy things. I want to buy this and that. I want to buy, brothers and sisters. Greed is placed on the heart of man. You expect positive change to come for that. That is interesting. It's not that they close, the eyes not closed anymore. Because the way things are going, you swear people don't even have eyes to open. You know, but their eyes are wide open. They are just equally as corrupt as the very leaders that they put in positions. Not all of them, you know. But it's very interesting. I've heard this quote from time to time again. It is a heck of a thing, I'm paraphrasing, it's a heck of a thing when good people who know better, who see to do better, but refuse to say anything. That is the destruction of mankind. When good people refuse to do something but what they know. Brothers and sisters, I also, sometimes when I'm talking to people, they tell me, they know. They don't do it, you know, but they tell me they know. So what is the point of knowing and not doing what you know? What is the point of knowing it in the first place? I thought when you know to do better. But some people know and they just don't care. So they don't even care about doing better. It is until it reaches their doorstep when it's already too late. When it's already too late. I read this saying some time back about they came for the Catholics, but I was not a Catholic, so I did nothing. They came for the Jews. I'm not a Jew, so I did nothing. They came for the priests or whoever. They came for these certain people, but I'm not these people, so I did nothing. Then one day they came for me, and you know the conclusion? Nobody was there to help me. One day we'll come to your doorsteps and you realize, hey brothers and sisters, I have wasted so much time, 25 years. Boy! Let's continue.
Yeah, I don't think Dominica's going to come again. Because I think I listen to radio, no one then I hear a thing. I check in here the first time I put on the radio, I hear the man say about the government can't do it by itself. As if we don't know what is a government.
The government is the people, by the way. The government is the people. The people then send up representatives to do their bidding. If the people that we considered governments are not doing the bidding of the people, then that is not the government, brothers and sisters. We have masters that are doing there. The government is considered, the people who are working for the people are considered public servants. But instead, it seems like they are public masters and making the people who are supposed to be government the servants to them. You want to know why I understand that, brothers and sisters? When they put in all sorts of taxes on the people, so the people can then give them the ability to raise their salaries while they're making you raise your salary. Not everybody, you know. Very few people getting 6% increase when inflation value has done surpass this. I get 6% increase. It's good to have the 6% increase, you know. But on what basis can you then characterize and say from the time that I used to work to then, how much inflation has gone up? Maybe inflation has gone up by 20%. And because you getting a 6% increase, you think that is great? From 25 years ago to now, salary increased by 6% for some, for very few, matter of fact. And these people say, hey, I get a raise. I'm happy I get a raise. Not realizing 25 years from where it started to where it is now, brothers and sisters, if inflation is 20-30%, even if you get a 6% increase, it means nothing. But you know what they're doing, brothers and sisters? The officials who are now becoming the public masters, they're raising their salaries about 4 or 5 times. Once at 50%. Now I earn at 30% now. They raised their salaries before, and understanding when they give the 6 to 13% salary increase, brothers and sisters, they consider it to be part of the public service. Not true. But the government is also part of the public service. So they themselves probably got an increase from 6 to 13% for themselves. And you wonder why they are elevating who exactly is working for who. When they're raising their salaries and you're asking the question, what exactly has the government done to warranty themselves getting an increase in salaries? What? Have they benefited the people or anything? Have they set up factories? Have they done things to utilize what Dominica has to then elevate the masses? Or have they been crippling the people, brothers and sisters? I will talk about a crippling effect in a while, brothers and sisters, because it's vital. Oh, I didn't even know I was going down that way. But hey, let's continue right there.
You feel me? Then look at the man come in and say about Domlek and the light going and thing, and he have to buy a generator to rent it to Domlek, but Domlek wasn't Domlek and government not like business one.
Yes, the government controls IRC. IRC regulates Domlek. They are telling you that the government needs to buy, or scared whoever is telling you they need to buy a generator. Under who money they buying it? Their salary money or Dominica money. Then they're telling you, since Domlek is already acquired by the government, then the government is telling you that they need to buy a generator for themselves and rent it to Domlek, brothers and sisters. I don't know, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe it's me that, you know what common sense is, brothers and sisters? Maybe me that uncommon sense. The government that purchased Domlek is then telling you that they need to buy a generator and then rent it to Domlek when they are the same thing. Boy.
Together. I swear. Oh, I'm not sure. That is maybe things I'm thinking. But anyway, so you mean to tell me Domlek have no money at all in the bank, in the treasury, in the petty cash?
Guys, just Google Domlek profits. Just Google it. Google it. So you mean to tell me all the years that Domlek has been making profits, you mean to tell me that they couldn't buy a generator? You mean to tell me that they're not telling the people via IRC that if they buy a generator, a capacitor, or whatever they want to call it, brothers and sisters, they're then going to look to change the rate, even though they have made a surplus of profit? Brothers and sisters, if you're making profit for 20 years, shouldn't a piece of that profit be used to then buy capacity, to buy the necessary equipments that are needed to keep the business running? They're then making it seem like the people, Domlek, making money, yes, but we're not using the monies. We put that monies aside for what? We don't know. Maybe to give the shareholders and to give the government officials monies and this kind of things there. But if you're looking at how you spending the monies, brothers and sisters, you're making a profit. They then telling you, no, we're not using these profits to buy what is needed. We need to then buy it ourselves to then rent it to them.
To buy or rent a generator? So you, boss man, have to buy a generator and rent it for Domlek. Just like how he have his house and we paying rent for it.
What do you think the government is working for, brothers and sisters? Is the government working for the people, or are the people working for the government, making the government in turn a king? I said that about 15 years ago, brothers and sisters. 15 years ago I said that. Sooner or later the government is going to make themselves kings. Kings. And the other day, one of them people, I think there's little ones were in church or something like that, doing maybe communion or whatever they were doing, those little ones. There was a lady stand up by those little children, fanning them while all the other children hot, the lady stand up fanning them children. Do you think she'll try to fan everybody? Ladies stand up in the middle of the church on the side of those little ones, fanning them. You don't think who is working for who, brothers and sisters? Who is working for who? Brothers and sisters, if we don't watch ourselves, Dominicans are just sitting there, becoming second-class citizens in their own country. You know what hurt me today, brothers and sisters? There's a bit of an incident that happened today, brothers and sisters, that hit me like a thunderbolt. They said that a man was found unalive at his home in Meru. Police are investigating right there. This is Dominica News Online. And you know who that man was, brothers and sisters? None other than Mr. Ronald Charles. I know this man. Me and this man spend time and time again on the phone talking about different situations that is happening to Dominica. Different situations. You know one of the things that he told me? He said, but Mr. Lex, let me tell you something now. People believe because you carry a certain name, a certain last name, that everything is fine and dandy with you. He told me this. Mr. Lex, you think everything is fine and dandy. Things used back for me back in the day used to be wonderful when the economy is doing well. Things are great, things are working out, Mr. Lex. But soon we don't know what the government is doing. He literally told me that. What on earth this government is doing? I have fallen from grace. I put paraphrasing right there. Just because you carry a certain name, people believe that everything is fine and dandy with you. No police are now investigating and identified a resident of Meru who was found unalive at his home earlier today. None other than Mr. Ronald Astafan. Astafan, who lived on Cuba Road in Meru, was found unalive on his bed with a pellet wound to his chest, apparently, sometime this morning, according to the police. Astafan was a former proprietor of GUIYAVE restaurant in Roseau. One of the best restaurants. Back in the day, people would tell you when you overseas to visit GUIYAVE. Visit GUIYAVE, brothers and sisters. Proprietor of GUIYAVE, and he had to shut it down, brothers and sisters. He had to definitely shut it down. The police investigation are continuing right there. Now, when that happened, he actually had a sit-in. This is the sit-in right there, brothers and sisters.
To the next, due to the level of anxiety, depression, and stress. So you wrote there about the anxiety, the depression, and the stress. Every day you said you cried. Uncontrollably. 2.5 months. For 2.5 months, you literally cried every day, uncontrollably.
And he tried to keep things afloat. I remember when he was telling about this kind of things, man. See, bro, I was trying to keep this afloat, doing downsizing, all sorts of things, rebranding of sort of, even renaming and all those kind of things he was telling me he was trying to do to see if he can, make things happen. But in an economy that is not doing well, brothers and sisters, mankind is being affected by it. Boy, I just remembered some of the things he was telling me, Just remembered some of the things he was telling me, man. Ah, boy.
4 to 6 weeks before, yeah, I was not in a good place. Very, very bad place. I was crying uncontrollably. I couldn't control it.
Oh my God.
Just talking or just thinking about it, I would cry. Eventually, I just said, you know what? It was important to me that if we had to close down, that we close down while we go on top. That our quality was still good.
And then they ended up closing on GUIYAVE, brothers and sisters. I remember some of the conversation that we were having, brothers and sisters. This is one of them right there. Blessed day, bro. Hope all is well. He was messaging me. Most definitely. All is blessed. That's me speaking in the green. All is well and blessed. Thanks. Trusting in the Lord's plans and timing. I remember sometime he also used to call me, right? Oh, I think I missed a call. Yeah, okay. I think I called him back right there. And this is when he was starting to unveil all sorts of things to me. And I was talking to him, when he asked me about if there's any new opportunities and this kind of things there, because we used to talk business on understanding things from overseas and all those kind of things there. I even mentioned to him that when he's doing his stuff, he could actually utilize YouTube, because YouTube was the one who actually helped me out to become truly independent. And this is one of the reasons why I always encourage individuals to utilize YouTube. Now, right now in Dominica, you can go online and search for different jobs and this kind of things. There's literally a number of persons out there who can literally teach you about going online. There's Cranberry, who can teach you about these things. I heard her saying these kind of things. There's Clem that also says these kind of things. The Clem the travel, Clem travel. Some Clem, the African girl, cute, wonderful girl. She also teaches individuals how to work online and this kind of things. I know a number of individuals who are in Dominica making us dollars online, brothers and sisters. And if you understand anything, and that's one thing that I learned under Obama, then, brothers and sisters, is understanding how currency works. if you are able to be in a country that makes less in terms of their currency while still making more by getting a bigger currency, brothers and sisters. For example, you're in Dominica, you make what, 1,500 EC dollars. If you're in the United States and you're making 1,000 US dollars, brothers and sisters, that is almost $3,000 EC dollars, and you're working in Dominica. So currency is very key. And of course, when you're working online, it's not 1,500, most likely 2,000, 2,500 you'll be making. I know individuals that make that amount in Dominica online. So it's very vital that you understand these kind of things. So there's possibilities out there where individuals can work. Unfortunately, you know, I told him about certain opportunities and whatnot, tell him about YouTube so that he can be independent. When he's doing his chefing stuff, he can literally do that and even teach classes online and start a thing that he could possibly do something in that regard, because things are failing and it's time to look online. Brothers and sisters, if you constantly think of how schooling has taught you in these modern times, you will fail. If you follow the schooling system that is presently in Dominica, brothers and sisters, and you're doing everything that they tell you to do, you will fail in reality. I am telling you these things, and it's getting bad to worse. So it's time to wisen up and realize, hey, I cannot be going, hey, oh, let me go and work Clay Harbor, or let me go and work in NEP for what, 700 EC dollars a month? Really? You go to school to go and work NEP, or they have you in the bank as an NEP worker, or they have you cash NEP. That is the level that we reach because the economy is not doing well. That's one of the things that Mr. Ronald Charles always tell me about. How the economy is constantly failing and he's just trying to stay afloat. He would tell me these things. He's constantly trying to stay afloat. Mr. Lex boy, trying my best. Daddy boy, the man tell me he trying his best. He trying his best, father. And just nothing doesn't seem to work out. He also told me about associations of having the last name and everybody think because you have this, everybody is fine and dandy. Talking about the divide that there is. Brothers and sisters, sometimes you think people are acting as a result of the last name. No, they're acting on their own, especially when they see things are happening and they refuse to sell out. Now he's gone today with a pellet wound to the chest. Somebody, no, we're not really sure what has happened. Maybe somebody came and did this, or you know, maybe there's the alternative for self-inflicted wounds. We are not sure. I guess we will wait for the police report to see what happened in that regard. But that only tells you something. This is not the first kind of incident of that sort that we're hearing. There's an individual young man. I know his mother. A young man, I know his brother. He say, boy, mistakes, but I don't know. The brother maybe, boy, mistakes, but I don't know. The man ended, write a letter stating that things are hard in the economy. He cannot find love. He cannot find jobs. He cannot number of things. The other day I did a reaction of a girl saying that she needs to get sponsored in Antigua. Brothers and sisters, there are a lot of things that are happening. I remember another girl made a sentiment to that regard stating that while she was in Dominica, they literally used to try to keep her down. Keep her down. She's in Canada now. And people who have been here for donkey years, because of her skill set, she's much more qualified to take positions. She's now ahead of these people because of her skill set. One of the problems that we have in Dominica in a failing society. One, people always seem to want friendship, pull string. So they don't get the right set of people in positions to ensure that the jobs are being done. Because there's pull string happening. So you put persons in positions because they're your friend or they're your family. When they are not qualified to do these things, and when they're not qualified, they have incompetence breeding in circumstances. This is why Dominica is like this. The leader is very incompetent. I listened to the Prime Minister talking about, oh, what is happening with the signing of the new agreement that is getting. And he keeps saying about what he believes and what he thinks. And then initially stating that the priests and the individuals who brought the information out to individuals are stating that the Prime Minister is stating that they tend to do their thorough research. They tend to do thorough research. Then come in and tell us what he thinks and what he believes, never what he knows. Then come in and tell us he's going to sign when asked. If he was there, he wasn't even there to be in part of the meeting, but he's planning to sign on what he thinks and what he believes. Brothers and sisters, there's always something in addition to that. What exactly is the Prime Minister selling out in exchange? Why is he selling other people in that in exchange for what? I even did the reaction of they're talking about the men in society. When you have weak men, brothers and sisters, weak men bring forth weak societies. Look at Dominica. Dominica look like a strong society to you. Dominica looks like a strong society to you. When you have to become constantly telling people they are resilient, you're telling them they're resilient so they can take blows. They can but they can take blows upon blows for years. Just blows, my goodness, blows. Because they're resilient. Not true. Not that they're telling people they're resilient. How can you be taking blows like that and staying quiet? You don't feel in pain yet? Huh? Well, he felt it. That's one thing I know. He felt it. And I was the only one he spoke to. It seems like he spoke to a number of persons. He, of course, was a very social being. I do, Ronald. This is what one of the individuals, our last exchange, checking up on you to make sure you're okay. I saw you were online yesterday, but I didn't say anything. I figured I'd give you your MIPWE later. I guess they were having some talks and whatnot. Anyways, this is what she was saying to him. Thanks, love, help me. Thanks, love, help me up well for the day. Hey dear, I'm just checking up on you. Hope all is well. And if, I guess that's what Judy was telling him, you know, and he was saying thanks, love, prayers. Needing prayers. Sometimes you don't know what individuals are going through. You have no clue what they're going through right there. This is another individual who made a post. She was making a public post telling Ronald, good morning, love you. And he gave a heart to that. Because they know he was going through struggles. I know, he used to tell me, you know. The man used to tell me things, brothers and sisters. I say, bro, hang in there, try and go on YouTube, try and do these things. He said, bro, I don't have time to do those things. I don't have time to do those things because I need to make this order so I can get a little money to stay afloat. His right words were to stay afloat. I guess he couldn't stay afloat anymore, brothers and sisters. But this is not a way to go. This is never a way to go. Lofty also made a post about him. Lofty stated, you were going through a lot in silence, Mr. Ronald Astafans. And he spoke to me about some of the things that you were going through. Only one who feels it knows. This one is a shocker. Words are not enough at this time. I'm telling you, when I heard that news, I couldn't believe it. Maybe I was telling my people that maybe some other Ronald Astafans. Not this one. I stayed quiet for like a whole hour, you know, brothers and sisters. When I got that information. Then I messaged his brother to find out what's going on. Sending my condolences and all those kind of things there. The man is gone now. The man gone now. You think he can ever come back? Brothers and sisters, there's always a time when people go through rough times. I know there's rough times, brothers and sisters. Rough times are even ahead. It's not always over fine and dandy. Rough times are ahead. Mr. Ronald Astafans. Never believe you would ever do something like this. Never. You are gone today. Brothers and sisters, when it comes down to these kind of situations, I always tell people one thing. It boils back down to eternity. Eternity is too long to be wrong. This is just a passing phase, brothers and sisters. Life is like a vapor. I always tell people these things. People don't seem to understand. Brothers and sisters, I know what death feels like. It's crazy for me to say, boy. It's crazy for me to say these things, but I know what it feels like. And when you live this life, when you feel cold and your body just fade out. I myself, I'm saying too much right there. Anyways, eternity is too long to be wrong. Your life on earth is the DNA of your next life. Repent, trust in Yeshua, brothers and sisters. Turn away. Oh, we all have sinned. We all understand these things. We all have sins. The great book says, can any man say that he is without sin, then he maketh the Creator himself a liar? This is why we always trust Yeshua. It's through Yeshua we are seen as innocent. He always used to say, thank God for this. He just praying for this and doing that and trusting in God and all those kind of things. He used to tell me, so And from my understanding, he was on the right side of things. He was on the right side of things, brothers and sisters. But you never know what somebody's going through. You never know what somebody's going through. When you think, oh, is this, has this last name, well, it's fine and dandy. Oh, you don't need to do nothing about it. I try my best to help him in certain things. This is why, if you mention these things there, okay, any other new opportunity, he participated in one of the opportunities and was able to do his thing. I told him about YouTube and this kind of things there, and you know, life is a vapor, brothers and sisters. You never know how to push somebody. If somebody did this to him, may justice prevail. If he did this to himself, you never know what could drive somebody to that point. When the man was there talking about, he was crying constantly for 2.5 months before they closed on. I'm GUIYAVE. His baby, his precious baby that there. Then he used to do things on the side and this kind of things there. I used to even post up some of his stuff when he put it out there for individuals to see. No. Sympathies goes out to the family and friends of Mr. Ronald Astafans, man. Life is what we make it. Sometimes life gives us some serious beating, especially when you look to the individuals who are supposed to help us out, our leaders. Sometimes it doesn't always. Humanity, I don't know, humanity is a strange. I just try, boy. Anyways, guys, let me leave that alone. I go too long on this. What are your thoughts, man? Give this video a thumbs up for Mr. Ronald Astafans right there, for definitely making the great meals that he used to make. And I saw a number of posts of people eating his food. I also eat some of his snacks. He used to also be in Ross as well, with some great food as well, you know. And we lost a great chef. And of course, hopefully, I know, based on what he was telling me, man, seems like he's cooking for Yeshua now. Okay, what better opportunities there after death than to cook for Yeshua? And his brothers and sisters, give this video a thumbs up for Mr. Ronald Astafans. And with that said, guys, I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Remember, guys, be real, be positive.